Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Hollow Knight. We are down in the abyss, and these enemies are called siblings. We get no soul from them. They have no soul. They're shades. Let me ask you a question, and think about the answer and what it means for this place. What is it that we leave behind when we die? Exactly. Now, let me ask you another question. What kind of bug is the Knight? We've seen spiders and caterpillars and mantises. What kind of bug is Hornet? What kind of bug is the Knight? Again, take a moment and really think about that. One more time I'll ask. What kind of bug is the Knight? Turn it off? Cannot. My king, I'm sorry. The sea calls. This enormous stone tower is a lighthouse. And its purpose is to keep the siblings at bay. So the answer to the question that I was asking is that he isn't one. Hornet had it right with that nickname. She's been putting it out in front of you all along. He's a ghost. He's a ghost inhabiting a shell. A shade, more accurately. He's a vessel. That's all we are, is a vessel. One of thousands, maybe millions. Look at this H.R. Geiger Chozo statue. And now we have the Shade Cloak, which modifies our dash and adds invincibility to it. This thing's mind is also protected from the Dream Nail. There's a cooldown timer on the Shade Cloak dash, so you can't just spam it for invincibility, but it does allow us to finally pass through these barriers. An imprint of abyss given form adds an entry to the Hunter's Journal. And the entry, I believe, is for those void tendrils which were lapping at us. Yeah, Fragments of Void. Makes reference to other stranger kingdoms below Hallownest. Meaning that Hallownest is a kingdom built atop a much more ancient and desolate civilization. The bedrock of Hallownest is bones and liquid black void. Oh, and look at that arcane egg. We'll take that to Lem at some point in the near future and get an idea of what that arcane egg is all about. What that means for where we are. Yeah, so that's what this black substance is. It's a void. Remember Hornet's line. Yours is a resilience born of two voids. So the abyss as a level is not very dense. It's expansive, but there's not much going on. It was a stretch goal that didn't get met, that would have added much more, like 4 different boss fights and a much bigger level. What we actually have in the final game, since that stretch goal wasn't met, is just the tip of the iceberg. It's called the Abyss Shore. Let me be honest, I'm really happy that that goal wasn't reached. I think the Abyss is chilling because of how slow and empty and suffocating it is. It smothers you. Making it a big adventurous zone with boss fights and everything, I think that would rob it of a lot of its gravitas. But it's just this cavernous, haunting zone. Makes your chest tight. And then you have to climb your way out with the knowledge of what just transpired here. What you just figured out from coming down here. And it makes it really heavy. It faced the void and ascends unscathed. Could it unite such vast darkness? Ghost, I see you face the place of your birth, and now drape yourself in the substance of its shadow. Though our strength is born of similar source, that part of you, that crucial emptiness, I do not share. Funny then that such darkness gives me hope. Within it, I see the chance of change. A difficult journey you would face, but a choice it can create. Prolong our world's stasis or face the heart of its infection. I'd urge you to take that harder path, but what end may come, the decision rests with you. So we learned a little bit about Hornet's lore some time ago, and she reinforces something there, that they are similar, but she is not an empty vessel. They're born of the same void, but she is not empty. Remember, the point of the vessels was to be completely empty. They have no will, they have no driving emotion, they have nothing. They were designed specifically to contain the infection. Something that only the Hollow Knight wound up being chosen to do. One out of, again, thousands, maybe millions of potential vessels. What was the phrase before we entered the Abyss? The refuse and regret of that decision? The siblings are the refuse. They were discarded down there in that pit because they were not as perfectly empty in the judgment of the Pale King as was the Hollow Knight. So the Hollow Knight was the one who was chosen, and the rest of them were sealed away in the void of the Abyss. Until now. And now, it's time for some actual endgame stuff. Previously, we went into Deep Nest and found the Beast's Den in the distant village. And there we found Hera the Beast, one of the three dreamers, helping to seal the Temple of the Black Egg, where the Hollow Knight is. We killed Hera, who again is Hornet's mother. There are still two dreamers left. One of them is here in the City of Tears. The other one is in, I think it technically counts as the Fog Canyon. It may count as either Green Path or the Fungal Waste, though. I'm pretty sure it's just straight up in Fog Canyon, though. Yeah, no, it's Fog Canyon. So we're actually going to get to see that zone today. And we will get one of, what, 6 endings? Let's see, there's... There are 3 main endings from the base game. There's kind of a cutesy little optional one that we can do. And then there are 2 endings that were added with the God Home DLC. And we'll be doing all 6 of them. Starting with our first ending today. Hornet also asked us to make the harder of 2 choices, which just feeds into the endgame. It has to do with what our choices are going to be going into the ending. And specifically, they were prolong the kingdom's stasis or face the heart of the infection. Facing the heart of the infection being the harder of the 2. And she's being kind of literal there, because that, which was, known as the true ending at the time, has you face the true final boss, who is substantially harder than any other boss in the base game. The DLC has added some much harder stuff. Oh, I love dashing through enemies with a shade cloak. Also lets us rescue this caterpillar. Yay. Something a little bit lighter to bring the mood up after the abyss. But prolonging Hallownest's stasis, which is sort of what that Hollow Knight himself is doing, just preserving the kingdom, keeping it going without making anything better or worse on his own. That's the easier choice. By the way, look at the chandelier. You can drop that in the room below, and it seems to have shattered some of these husks. Strong husks. These are the Watcher Knights. We start off fighting only one of them. So we've seen... there it is. So we've now seen the Watcher Knight's entire moveset. It is this 3-hit swing. It has the attack where it can roll along the ground, or it has the attack where it curls up in the ball and bounces. From here on out, we're fighting 2 of them at a time at all times. And there are 10 of them, I believe. But if you do that little hidden chandelier trick, you only wind up having to fight... Oh man, is it 8 total and then it goes down to 6? Or is it 10 and then it goes down to 8? Either way, it removes 2 of them from the fight. And this boss isn't the hardest thing in the world, but it can be a real bastard. Depending on how they overlap their attacks. And the thing is, you can bait them into doing the sword swings by just staying near them. But if they aren't both lumped up together, odds are you're gonna have at least one of them rolling around at a time. And as you go to dodge one while it's rolling around, that tends to put you out of range of the other one, so that one will start to roll. And it can just be a headache. Well, the Watcher Knights are dispatched. Also, I cannot emphasize enough how useful that hidden chandelier is in just reducing the number of things that you have to deal with in total throughout the fight. Anyway, with the Watcher Knights dealt with, we can continue further up this tower in the Nobles section. Master, too tired. Died of sleep deprivation in the Nobles' quarters of the City of Tears. Oh, look at this. Wish we could move the telescope around, but I mean, there's a good reason we can't. They would have to draw a lot more. I want to dream nail this one. Oh, come on, let me. This one seems special. Master, so long. Wonder if that means so long without sleep. So this one would be Lurien the Watcher. Remember, we have Hera the Beast, Lurien the Watcher, and Monomon the Teacher. Not gonna forget to dream nail him multiple times this time for King Beloved. To sleep, to serve. Bonds must remain. Remain. Two down, one to go. This is why we set that dream gate up earlier, just to make it convenient to get out of this place and to move on to the Queen's Station, which is where we're actually going to get into the Fog Canyon, which is not a tremendous zone, thankfully. It's mainly there to act as a hub to other zones, and there are a couple of things that we're going to grab while we're there. It's mainly just there as a hub and to be the home of Monomon and his sanctuary. And the Dream Gate is unbelievably useful. It's wild that it wasn't there in the base game. Alright, so to the left is where Millabel started out. And then I think the top right of the zone is where we are going to go and finally get the map for this place. Now, you're going to see something that's kind of ridiculous. And the reason why we haven't gotten the map to this point. I mean, aside from the fact that we haven't spent much time in Fog Canyon, considering how early you get here, this really is an endgame zone. And I cannot emphasize enough how absurd that is. And it's really an endgame zone for only one reason. We can hear Cornifer and his humming, but if we were to have come here earlier on to get to Cornifer and the map, we would have been blocked by the fog or the Void barricade. We needed the Shade Cloak from the Abyss before we could get the map for Fog Canyon. It's a whole new level of strangeness. Yeah, the jellyfish, huh? Did you see that dark gate below? It's quite unsettling. Did my best to avoid it. Fortunate for me, I found another route in, though I did end up a little singed after wading through acid. I'm not sure if Cornifer's route to get here, the one where he wades through acid? Oh, there's a big structure in the middle of a lake below. It's become a nest for those slimy, see-through creatures. They're so gross, and they give a nasty shock to touch. I'm not sure if the path he's describing is a real thing. I don't think it is. Like, I'm not sure if you can get to him early just with Isma's Tear. I don't remember that being the case when I first played this. Oh wow, that was bad. But yes, now we're finally going to action. Oh, I forgot about those. That's going to be really important for a thing coming up. Ooh, better to run into that now than in this section coming up. Also, the Shade Cloak is really nice for just not having to deal with the bigger jellyfish. Because it's been a while, but remember, their cores are explosive and they will ricochet back towards you. They'll like boomerang at you once you kill them. Unless you knock them into, you know, an environmental hazard like spikes. So instead, I love being able to opt to just... I'm not sure if I've... Yeah, I think I've gone too far. Oh, whoa, whoa! Forgot this was here! Does this lead to anything? I think it's just a Hallownest seal or something. Oh, well, this is bad. That's nice. We can kill him with spikes. In that one. Mostly, I really like opting to just Shade Cloak dash through them. And that is so not worth it. But hey, we'll take it. I mean, we're never going to be hurting for Geo ever again. Especially with all the stuff that we already have to sell and the money that we're now making from the Grub Father every time we go and return some of his Caperpipper children to him. Also, we will see how that storyline resolves itself. We need to get every single Caperpipper in the game, and whether off-screen, but mostly on-screen, I've been doing so far, I will get all of them and show what happens when they're all returned. Safe and sound. This is tricky, because these orange sack... Oh god, I can't even Shade Cloak through those. Wow, that sucks. Yeah, they are explosive. As we saw before. So we just go through this very carefully. That is very mean and rude. But the reward for doing that is extraordinarily worth it. Just getting a free charm notch? Yeah, I'll take that. Whoa! And they do 2 damage. Well, not ideal. That was not ideal. We have plenty of soul back from the tiny jellyfish. And now all there is left to do in Fog Canyon is just to come down to the lower left. And this is just a linear path towards Mudamon's Sanctuary. With, I think, no more explosives aside from the large jellyfish. Not really sure why jellyfish for this game. I think it's just a Metroid reference, but I don't know. Beats me. Now we're going to Crystal Dash across before we do anything else. Do a hidden Pipper. And this just opens a shortcut back here, which, you know, that's appreciated. In the unlikely event that you die in this upcoming area, who are you that leads me to this place? Asks Quarrel. Doesn't this kingdom just abound with surprises? Building atop an acid lake. Despite the sight, I can't help but feel familiarity? Something stirs in my mind, though I can't yet tell what. I thought it my lust for discovery that led me here, but now there seems something else. This building beckons me. I can feel it calling. Dare I head in? Well, if Quarrel wants to catch up, he can do that. This is a really conveniently placed bench. Kind of an odd location, but again, they're giving us extra insurance in case we die here, which is really hard to do. I'll emphasize again. There are a few hazards to get through, but nothing that really should be lethal. Oh look, it's everyone's favorite boss, who is just a Metroid. He's Umu. We saw this attack in the Coliseum of Fools. It was just stolen from Umu. Oop, I keep fucking that up. So right now, we can't actually hurt Umu. Umu is a pretty rare gimmick boss. I actually think Hollow Knight could probably use a few more gimmick bosses, to be honest. Whirl joins us. Oh shit, I can't hit him from there? Ah, it's fine. Yeah, both of these attacks were stolen from Umu for that one mini-boss type enemy in the Coliseum. The gimmick here is just that you have to wait for Whirl to get an opening. And he'll just teleport, dash around a little bit. And eventually, he'll strike and expose the core. Other than that, it's just a lot of running around and listening to his very chatty dialogue. There we go. I don't think I'm gonna get to recycle this because of what happened before. Yeah. It's weird because Umu can definitely hit me. I will screw up on the platforms, especially when he does this. I always misjudge that. But it's not like he's ever really like, there's no kill threat from him. You're never in danger of dying, really. Oh boy. King Light and growth in kind, flow all thinking field. Oh yeah, that's, so. Think flow, Abba dream uncontain. So they play her as kind of a mad scientist archetype, Monomon that is. But she mentions certain phrases in that dialogue like old light and void. Something glows in the tank. Hello, Quarrel. To think such a small creature would bear this kingdom's fate. Did she call to you too then? Realized it's no coincidence we arrived together. Though much of my memory is blank, this place I recall. Within these chambers, the teacher sought to store the kingdom's knowledge, and at its core, she stored herself. To save Hallownest, the teacher willingly became a seal, but upon herself she enacted an additional protection. Though I cannot recall its happening, it played a part in that feat. She called me here now to reverse that protection, all in aid of you. That's why he has that mask. He has the same kind of amnesia the knight had. Do not hesitate. The choice to reform was hers, not mine. She knows what you would do and seems to welcome it. He has the same kind of amnesia as the knight, but was called by Monomon, his teacher. He is her apprentice. For diversity, a seal. A world forever unchanging. The seals must break. Forever. Do you remember how the game began? No mind to think, no will to break, no voice to cry suffering, born of God and void? It's the first stanza in a poem called The Elegy for Hallownest, written by Monomon the Teacher. The madam's life is extinguished, and with it her seal breaks. It's a heavy thing you attempt, but I've seen your prowess up close, and she too believed you capable. Be on your journey then, and allow me rest a time. With the deed complete, I begin to feel my age. There are a bunch of other cut stanzas too, by the way, for the Elegy of Hallownest. And they mention that for all the Pale King gave, The bugs that he united still return to being savage and mindless when a light from above consumed them, and they needed a vessel of perfect emptiness to contain it. Oh look, Zoe is still going over his 57 precepts with Brynne. Oh, now it's time to return here. We saw just the outside all that time ago at the beginning of the game, and now it's time to enter the Temple of the Black Egg. That's why they call it the Temple of the Black Egg. Vessel, though bound, you shall know the state of the world. Hallownest will be whole again. And now we get to see our completion percentage. Let's see, where are we at this point? We're not done by a long shot, but hey, we're 81% complete. That's not half bad, especially given how many episodes we still have left to go before we're actually done. Let's see, what can we throw on with this one notch? Let's just do Grub Song. Hey, why not? And let's go see the Hollow Knight. I love this theme. All of the gravitas encapsulated in this fight is terrific. Also, it gives you a real good opportunity to play around with the Shade Cloak in a fight. Ah, that's 2 damage as well. So for all this time chained up, he is not really lost a step. Aw, man. Not getting away with that too well. I think that's what I did a lot on my first playthrough, is I would trigger his parry and then just dash through the riposte. So now, this is interesting. Oh my god, I can't believe I took that second hit. He stabs himself, and I don't know if that's to release the infection, or if that's to help you, or both maybe. We're gonna tank some damage here just to deal some. We're okay with taking that damage, because the thing is, the Hollow Knight, for being one of the end bosses, is not actually that bad. Makes sense. He wasn't designed to fight. He was designed to be perfectly empty. And now we're gonna draw everything into ourselves.